squawking and sharing my tea in a dream. Behind the musty straw bales and feed sacks and rabbits for sale, I found him silent and frail in a cage. Softly I play in the still heat of day while he's sleeping. Sweetly he sings, head tucked in his wing as he dreams. Through luminous vaults of air he flies. Beneath tapestries of branches and leaves and light. If I'm persuasive and calm, blue ball will sit on my finger, but he won't stay very long to play. Mornings when I go to work, he sings while I iron my shirt. So cheerful and tame, but mindful the same of the window. Softly I play as the day turns to late afternoon. Doves swirl in flight inside of the rising moon. Through luminous vaults of air we fly. We've canopies of stars in the black wild sky. many of you might know this one. If you know it, sing it. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Love you.
Good morning. My name is George Melton, and I'm your host for today's live streaming Sunday celebration service from the Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Springs. You've been listening to Gary Lynn Floyd, one of our favorites, performing One Big Family. On behalf of your Leadership Council and our Senior Minister, Reverend Eunice Chalfant, I want to extend a warm welcome to all of our regular viewers here in Palm Springs and all of our many friends from around the country, Richard and Bill in Illinois, Ron Simpson in New Mexico, Linda Ginn in Los Angeles, Dean Jackson, Tony Suter, and Stella Evans right here in Palm Springs. No matter where you are on your spiritual path or where you might be tuned in from this morning, you are welcome here. We'd like to begin the service this morning by reciting our mission and vision statement. Please follow along with me if you'd like. At CSLPS, we envision a world where oneness is cultivated, unity is lived, and reverence for all life is practiced, empowering us to thrive individually and collectively. And of course, we do this through the teachings of science of mind and spirit and the practice of unconditional love. There are quite a few things for you to be aware of this week. On Wednesday evening, December 2nd at 6:30 p.m., join Reverend Vince Kiefner as he facilitates this week's Wisdom Shares and Sacred Practices with a presentation titled, Let There Be Light. Light cannot be touched, smelled, or stored, and yet life without it is impossible. Come and learn how to activate your life to assist you in the living of your life. Simply click on the Wisdom Share Zoom link on the CSLPS website pop-up page to connect. If you'd like to be part of uncovering the tone and direction of our center's focus for the upcoming year, 2021, join Reverend Eunice and our community on Saturday, December 5th at 10 a.m. on Zoom for visioning our global 2021 annual themes and monthly topics. Then on Sunday, December 6th at 2 p.m., Jumpstart Your Life will take place on Zoom. The Jumpstart class is designed for individuals who are new to the science of mind and want to learn more about our philosophy and the organizational structure of our center. Upon completing the course, you'll be invited to become a co-creator member of the CSLPS community with all of its benefits and privileges. If you're currently a member but have never taken the class and are interested, you're also invited to participate. You can RSVP for the Jumpstart class and for the Global 2021 Visioning on our website under Events and Classes. 2020 is rapidly drawing to a close, and it's time to begin planning for our annual meeting in January, which will be held virtually. There are several vacancies on the Leadership Council. We are looking for a few good men and women who are willing to step into these positions of leadership. We are also looking for social media savvy people to learn and support several different marketing and production skills currently vital to the production functioning of our center. These are volunteer positions in office procedures, website and letter production, and editing and producing online services and classes. If you are interested in helping out or in running for the board, please call Margie at the office at 760-323-5447 and let us know. And Margie is always in the office on Monday mornings from 9 to 1, Wednesday from 9 to 1, and Thursday from 9 to 1. If you've not yet received Reverend Eunice's Thanksgiving letter, it's because we probably don't have your contact information. If you didn't receive the letter, please go to our website, select Events and Classes, and click on the contact form on the drop-down menu. Fill it out and submit. You'll then receive your letter. And finally, with the holiday season upon us, don't forget to sign up for Amazon Smile and designate CSLPS as your charity of choice. A portion of every dollar you spend on Amazon will go to help support our center. You can also contribute to our current and ongoing costs for our live streaming service on our GoFundMe link on Facebook. Thank you for all of your support. So in just a few minutes, our practitioner of the day, Igea Grace Angel, will be offering today's reading and invocation. Reverend Robert Wilson, Dr. Reverend Robert Wilson, is our special guest speaker this morning. Roberta Welch is holding high watch during today's service. And then immediately after the service, Igea Grace Angel will be your host in the upper room for one-on-one prayer with a practitioner. So with all of our logistics out of the way, let's just take a collective breath together, breathing deeply in, filling our lungs with oxygen and allowing that oxygen to enliven and to invigorate and to activate every cell in our body. And then breathing out and breathing in peace and love and joy, and sending it out around the world on our out breath to any of those places where a little extra peace, love, and joy might be needed this morning. And so as we find our own natural rhythm of breath, we allow the music to take us even deeper.
Once again, to this tempo we know, deep in the body, gentle we go, and softly we hear the call, as the silence between us falls. And we open a space and hold it until every heart finds a place, has its fill, and each wounded soul is healed in peace and goodwill. as the silence between us falls, and together we hear the call.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to the Practitioner Moment here at CSL Palm Springs. I am Ejea Grace Angel, one of the prayer practitioners here at the center, and it's my privilege to be here with you. Our reading today is taken from the Science of Mind textbook, page 440, written by our founder, Ernest Holmes. In this chapter, we are talking about the law of circulation. Freely we have received, freely give. When the law of circulation is slowed down, stagnation results. It is only as we allow the divine current to flow through us, on and out, that we really express life. The law of giving and receiving is definite. Emerson tells us to beware of holding too much good in our hands. Because of the unity underlying all life, no person lives entirely unto themselves, but through oneself we live into the whole, which whole embodies all other lives. Therefore, they that find their life shall lose it, and they that lose their life shall find it. When our thought rests entirely upon ourselves, we become abnormal and unhappy. But when we give ourselves with enthusiasm to any legitimate purpose, losing oneself in the thing that we are doing, we become normal and happy. Only as much life enters into us as we can conceive. And we conceive of life in the larger sense only when there is complete abandonment to it. Let the one who is sad, depressed, or unhappy find some altruistic purpose into which one may pour their whole being, and one finds a new inflow of life of which one has never dreamed. Let's savor some of those words, and any of those words that may have resonated with you, allow that to drop into your heart such that I invite you into the silence, closing your eyes if you feel comfortable, but most certainly being still and centering. Just for a few moments in the quiet, thinking of any of those words that may be resonating with you now. Allowing the vision to unfold as you relax and center. And reflect upon them even deeper. Recognizing that there's only one life, that life is whole, perfect, and complete, that life is God, that life is my life, and I absolutely accept and know it as the life of everyone here within the sound of my voice. All across the planet, God in expression, individualized and good. Blessing this day, blessing every person, every place, everything, all activity as divine right action in God, this day and every day. I invite you to continue to be well, continue to practice safety, continue to know the truth that life is good and very good. Anchoring this experience now and forevermore, I invite you to open your eyes and just know with me, and so it is. Namaste, friends. The divine goddess in me recognizes the divine goddess in you. Continue to relax and contemplate. Our services will begin shortly. And don't forget to join us in the upper room immediately following service for prayer. We are here with you, for you, always.
At the edge of spring, a morning cool and blue and green taken wing. Beloved, the nights are full of fear, and my wandering days fast disappear, beloved, when you are gone. I climb your branches high and watch with tearful eyes the stars in your sky. Beloved, I forget I'm you. I forget what's true, but your morning's cool and blue still dawn each day for me. I love so much I see. I know that you are here with me. Beloved,
Good morning. I'm Reverend Dr. Robert Wilson, the Assistant Minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living, and I welcome you to our celebration service. I just love that introduction that we had earlier by Gary Lynn Floyd, that we are love, we are one family, because that's who we are, and that's our business. That's what we're all about at the center, is having that consciousness of peace and love and joy, and just sending that out into the world, allowing everyone just to grab onto it and just be part of that. And that's how we function here. So I welcome you to this service, and happy post-Thanksgiving, and happy pre-Christmas. I know most of us felt that we missed a lot this past week. We missed our Thanksgiving fest that we normally would have at the center, where everyone brings food and we just gobble that food down, being grateful for it, of course, but just having that presence of Spirit with us and allowing us just to share our community together. And we share that with everyone around, welcoming all people into our center as we do that. But I'm hoping that next year we'll be better and we'll be able to have that great Thanksgiving fest one more time. I hope this Thanksgiving has been good for you, and I know that it was different for all of us, regardless of what happened at your home, whether you celebrated Thanksgiving by yourself or just with 2 or 3 people. I know that one day we will be able to tell our grandchildren how serious and how horrible it was to have this Thanksgiving during the pandemic, but it really wasn't, because we were still in the place of giving thanks and allowing us to move that thanks out again into everybody else, into the community. And I know how someday as we tell those stories, we'll embellish them and tell them how horrible it was that we had to stay at home instead of going out for dinner, or we only had 2 people over instead of the whole family, or that we weren't even with our family. We were on Skype, or we were on Facebook or on Zoom talking with each other. And I can remember my father, when we had our large Thanksgivings at our homes, and we had 10 people over, he would tell us how bad it was when he was growing up during the Depression, and Thanksgiving, there was lucky if they had a turkey. It usually was a chicken, and they only had a few things to eat, but how grateful they were. And then he would tell me to eat my peas, which I really hated. But that's just the way it works. That's how it works for us. So it's just a new way of doing things. And I know that we'll co-create all new ways of doing all this, even after this is over. I know that Spirit works through us to co-create with us, for Spirit is a co-creator with us. And we will co-create new ways and take those new ways with us into whatever the future is in front of us. In the past few weeks, Reverend Eunice has been talking about being grateful, and we've seen a number of testimonials about how grateful we are, and how that works. And we know that as we do our grateful work, and I do mine in my walk up the mountain here in back of the house with the dog, and also in my spiritual practices that I do on a regular basis, that those spiritual practices of gratitude not only reinforce for me what Spirit has given me, but the way it works is that the more that I am grateful for it, the universe says, okay, if that's what you want, I'm going to give you more of it. And so one of the principles that we talk about and the practices that we use here at Science of Mind is that we give gratitude as much as we can, because we know it returns to us. And the more we say it, the more we're going to get it. So keep that in mind, that in those testimonials that we heard, those people were saying how grateful they were for the center and for their lives, and how great they were even during this pandemic. So more and more will just show up for them in the positive. That's how it works. That's one of the principles that we use in Science of Mind. But there's another principle too, and it's the principle of giving and receiving. Because there is a law around that, the law of circulation, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Is this law of circulation that we can use to bring into our lives even a greater expression of ourselves. Because who and what are we? We're just expressions of God. We're incarnate people of God, and we were created to have good lives. So the more that we understand how it works, the better off we're going to be. So we know how gratitude works. Now we're going to take a look at how this law of circulation works for each and every single one of us, and how we can make that work to have even greater and better lives than what we are to. So we're told in Corinthians in the Bible that generosity and courage, not only for the sake of giving, but also for receiving. So there's two parts of this law of circulation. It's both giving and receiving. So we also are told that whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. And that's from the Bible also. So what does this really mean? Well, when I really take a closer look at this, I say, well, does it really mean if I do a little work, I can only expect a little in return? But if I do a lot of work, do I get a lot back? Well, yes and no. Yes, it does mean something seriously like that, but we have to take a look at the word work, and we're going to take a look at that in a second here. But we have to understand that this is all about giving and receiving, and that's the law of circulation. And so as we give, we obviously receive. So giving and receiving, though, is a reciprocal ebb. It's like a flow of the yin and yang from the Buddhists that we accept, and that we get into that flow of God as God gives itself to us. So knowing that we are each a part of God, we allow ourselves and open ourselves up to all of that which is right there for us just to grab onto. But we have to understand what we have to do in order to get that. So I want to go to Deepak Chopra, who gives us an expressions of and some evidence on how to do that. And the first thing he says is that we need energy. Now, what is this energy? This energy of flow that moves through us and that we can bring into our lives. And how does it show up? So I've defined energy something like this. It's our attitude, it's our beliefs, and it's our behavior. Because I believe those three things are things that help us move through and with all this energy, this flow that's all around us. And this is from Chopra. He says, to fulfill your desires, you must detach yourself from them and trust the universe. And we found that in the reading that Eugenia Grace did this morning in Ernest Holmes' reading, that the person that findeth his life shall lose it, and the person that loses his life shall find it. Now that sounds very paradoxical, but what it really means is something like this. If we attach to our material things, it implies really a distrust of the universe, and this will cause anxiety in our lives. And I think you can sort of connect with this when we get a new car. Okay, we get a brand new car, and it's shiny and everything, and what's the first thing we're afraid of? Getting a dent at the supermarket when we pull into the parking lot. So we have those things that we understand are material aspects of our life, but we also know that they cause anxiety within us. So real security, real achievement can only be made in one way, and that's through self-actualization or self-realization as a spiritual being, as opposed to being this physical being in this physical experience. So we want to stay in that particular place of being a spiritual being. And that's what he meant, what Chopra meant when he said, you find your life when you lose it. Because right now, many of us live in a physical life. But if we can step away from that physical life and move into the spiritual being, that truth of who we really are, that's when we really find it. It might sound counterintuitive that you find that your desires can only become reality when you detach yourself from them. And that's the truth of how it has worked for me, at least. When I put aside all these material things and decided that I wanted to experience what it was to be a spiritual being, all of a sudden I didn't have this emphasis to have all these things around me. Yes, I do have some things that are comfortable that make life good for me. I'm not saying that we don't and that I don't, but I also have allowed that I don't really need these things. And if I were to lose them, I wouldn't be terribly upset. So I've gone and changed my attitude about how I look at things. Now let's look at a couple examples of how this works. Perhaps you're searching for a mate or maybe a house or a good job. And what we do is when we're looking for these things, we attach ourselves to that. And I know when I was looking for my perfect mate, I went to the bars and I went to dances and I went to join groups and all that, thinking that the right person was going to show up for me. It took me 7 years before I found my partner. And it was an accident, by accident, that I met the person. I was at a dance, and I just happened to walk by the cigarette machine on which he was sitting, and click, it was there. I wasn't looking for anything that night. I had decided that perhaps maybe my life was to be lived in solitude as far as being singular, and that was okay with me. So once I came to that understanding that that's a possibility, and I wasn't placing a lot of emphasis and going out and meeting people and doing things with other people, that right person showed up. And that can be the same thing for your job or a relationship or even looking for a house. How many times have you found a house that you really like and it was just sitting on the corner, right around the corner from you? You just didn't open your eyes, and there it was. So it's important that we detach ourselves from all of those things, and we sort of let our ego just go by the wayside, and we let the universe move through us, and we get a chance then to step into that and allow it to just show up in our life. So we have to let go. That's what it's all about, is letting go of that attachment and allowing Spirit just to provide exactly what Spirit wants for us. Chopra says, this is what happens when you detach yourself from your desires and connect to the field of energy that is the true nature of the universe, which alone has the power to make our desires become a reality. So as we detach, then the universe takes over, and we're not fighting the universe, we're in the flow with the universe. And that's the next thing that he talks about, is he says the flow, the understanding we have about how things work. Because sometimes we don't understand that. And he says, give to others what you would wish to receive, and let your TTT, your time, your talent, and your treasures flow into the world. So we have to understand what this flow is. We have to understand that there are things that we can actually do to create a better opportunity to receive. But we do that by giving certain things. If we are hoarders of our time, our talents, of our treasures, this interrupts that flow, this universal natural flow, because it is the natural flow to give and take. But sometimes we become a little, oh, this is mine. No, I can't share that. No, I don't want to do that. And we don't know how to do it. So we become what we call hoarders. So we pull that back. We're not in the flow of things. And that's where we want to be. We want to be in the flow of things. So what we want to do is invest wisely in our time, our talent, and our treasures, and let that flow back into us. So as we're giving out of our time, our treasures, and our talents, the universe will flow things back into us as a result of that. And this can apply to your friendship, to love, to anything that you want it to do. So we know that the more love people give within a society, the more love will be shared with others and will continue to grow. That's how we know. We know how this works. The more we give out, the more we get back. And it only works, though, if everyone is prepared to give as well as receive. So the person who only receives love is not going to be in a good place. That person has to also be able to give love. And the chances are that person won't even receive the love that he really wants. He'll get some love, but the more love you give, the more love you get back. And you see that in our community. You see it filled when we're there together in the community, in the sanctuary. We see that love just perpetuating itself. It's like an energy that flows throughout the entire congregation for all the time that we're here, that we're there. So we're going to be looking forward to bringing that back into our lives. So I hear some of you saying something like this, but I give, but I haven't received. Well, and you say, well, maybe that's working for you, but it doesn't work for me. Or you're saying, well, it's easy for you, but I don't have a job right now. Or my bank account is down to zero. Or there's no money to buy food or gas to pay this month's bills. Or even the holidays are here and it looks like I'm having a hard rock candy Christmas. I love that by Dolly Parton. But we rationalize all of this in order to make ourselves feel somewhat better, if you want to put it that way. And the better just meaning that, oh, this is just the way it is. No, that's not the way it is. You have the chance. We have the chance to change that around. And that's why I'm saying we have that rule of gratitude. As you give gratitude, you're going to get more back. And in the process of what we're talking about here, the law of circulation, we can use that also to bring more things into our life. So what's the premise of this? How does this really work? Well, first of all, we have to understand that the universe is impersonal. It gives alike to all. So none of us are any better than any other person as far as the universe is concerned. So we just have to know that all of us are entitled to the goodness if we're open to receiving that goodness. It's nature, it's the universe's nature to impart that to us, but we have to be open to receive it. And Emerson advises that we get our beloaded nothingness out of the way of the divine circuits. And that's really important because what we do is we step into the process by letting our ego get involved in it. And all of us have done that, including myself, that the ego just works its way in sort of and say, well, no, I'm not going to do that. That's not good enough for me, or something like that. And then we allow that to perpetuate itself in our attitude and in our behavior and even through our beliefs. And that's what slows down the reception, the receptivity of the goodness that we're looking for. The other thing is that in the premise of what and how this works is that it's deeply embedded in part of our nature to know how to receive. It's one of our great and beautiful birthrights as living creatures. And so as a co-creator with God and in the sonship, which is the inherited rights that we get from being a part of God, we have the right to open ourselves up to receive all the goodness that we can. But we sometimes have to just take a step back. So what are some of the reasons perhaps that we are not opening to receive? Because we have to sort of take a look at that in order for us to eliminate those things. And sometimes you'll say, well, I'm not entitled to receive good. Well, why not? Well, no self-worth. I don't have an education. I'm not good enough for that. I'm too sick. I can't do that kind of stuff. Or I'm too old. Oh, boy, do I hear that now. And I do that myself even. I'm too old to do that. Or I have nothing to give. And all of those are just excuses that we use. You have to ask yourself and take a really deep look, because in most cases we are giving, but you have to recognize that you are giving in order to receive. So I looked at some of my bank receipts this year, and for tax purposes, obviously. But who am I giving to? Where am I giving my time, talent, and treasure? So first of all, I looked at what's my list for giving, and I see that, oh, I gave to the homeless. Now, I give to the homeless in a number of ways. I give it to a charity, and then I also I like to give people money. Okay, so I give to the animal shelter. I give to the cancer people. I give out food to people. Sometimes I'll be going into McDonald's and there'll be someone out there begging for food or something, or sitting out there with a sign, and I'll go in and I'll just order 2 meals and I'll just give them a meal on the way out. I give my time and talent to the church as well as my treasure, obviously. And I even wrote down government taxes because as I pay my taxes, I'm understanding that I'm getting something back for that. I'm understanding that's helping to build our schools and build our roads and provide the services that we are all need for different reasons, and those services are out there to help us to move through whatever comes up in front of us. So as we make our list of what we do, we have to understand that we have time, we have talent, and we have treasure. We have those 3 things that we can really focus on to be aware of what we can give. So I looked at my time, and I looked not only to others, how I give my time to others, but how I give time to myself. So what did I wrote down to others? I wrote down, I've been mentoring ministerial students. I do practitioner sessions, and I listen a lot to my clients and to friends. That's to others time. Now, time to myself. I include meditation because I think that's a very important part of how I grow and how that affects my attitude and my behavior. I work out. I do stretching an hour every single day in order to keep this body, whatever's left of it, as useful as I can. I try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and I think I have a pretty optimistic attitude about things. So those are the things I give to me as far as time. Now let's look at talent. What do I do for others? Well, I sort of help to organize events. I know that organization is one of my strengths. I help others to fix and remodel, and I help other people to create some of the writings they do, because I'm a pretty good writer, and I can edit materials for other people. So that's a talent I have. So I use that talent not just for myself, but for others. So how do I use it for myself? Well, I've created a nice home here for myself. I eat fairly well, and I surround myself with good friends and love my work at the center and being a minister. So those are things that I do as far as talent to others and for myself. Now, what about my treasure? Well, I love to share things. Most people can come into my house and say something they like, and I give it to them. I share my belongings. I support others. I not only in my practitioner work and with my clients do I support them, but I support them, and I support friends. I support the charities. I support all of that in financial ways to help to understand that I have treasures of some kind to share with other people. And to myself, I have a good income, and I've worked hard for that in order for myself to provide what I have here. And I do that, and I also pay money to get a massage and to get facials and all kinds of different things, go on vacations. Those are things that are treasures that I use for other people and myself. So I know that as I use that time, that talent, and the treasure, I am bringing in and giving out. And so I'm allowing myself to receive those things back from other people. So are you ready to receive? Well, remembering that to receive, you have to be in the give and get cycle. So what does that really mean? So it means stepping up. It means getting rid of that ego, getting rid of what that Emerson had called the bloated nothingness, and allowing the universe to flow through you. We are not that bloated nothingness. We are individual spiritual beings, and we're opening ourselves up to receiving that from Spirit. So we know that we have time, talent, and treasure that we can use to put out, to give out, to allow ourselves to do that giving part, and then we open ourselves up to receive. Are you worthy of it? I just love the work with Brene Brown, who talks about how we sometimes tear ourselves down and don't realize that we're good enough. And let me check my time here. She says in her book, The Gifts of Imperfection, this is the reason why some of us will put ourselves down and not think that we are worthy of receiving all that good that's out there for us. She says years of collecting data says about 15 to 20% of people live in a full-hearted way where they can easily both give and receive love, essentially where they are in the divine synchronistic flow. The findings suggested that what causes the ability to really receive as well as give is whether or not people believe they are lovable at a core truth. So you have to believe that you are capable of loving. And as you do that, then more love will come into your life. She says, when we can know our value, we are more in touch with our feelings, but those we label as positive and negative, and that helps us become big-hearted receivers of good and givers of good. So let's take a look at what we've done. So are we willing to welcome that into our lives? Are you aligning yourself with that flow of receiving the flow of the law of giving and receiving, the law of circulation? Have you discovered what that is for you? What is your yin and yang? You have to take a look at that and understand that that's what it is. Have you instilled that law of circulation, that ebb and flow, knowing that it's a reciprocal action, both giving and receiving? And I know a lot of us have probably used different means of doing this. We may use a therapist. We may go to recovery groups. All of those things are possibilities of bringing that giving and receiving and understanding how that works into our lives. So that's what we really want to work on, that knowing we are spiritual beings, and we have that willingness to welcome and opening to receive. One of the things that I've had to do in my life is to par down. And as I do that, I'm trying to make my life a little more simple. And there's a thing here, there's a song here, and I'm going to try to sing it. Bear with me. It's Simple Gifts. Because I believe that as we par down and we get rid of that connection to the physical aspects of our life, and we go into our spiritual being where we're able to give and receive, we are more apt to be in a happier place. And it goes something like this. 'Tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free, 'tis the gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we will not be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. So that's about the flow, getting into that flow, knowing what that energy is, and then being in the flow that Deepak Chopra talked about. So if we go back to Corinthians, where we started, we find that, and this is a quote, each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. Let us pray. Oh, how grateful we are to have this ability to regulate our lives, to use the power of gratitude to bring into our lives that gratitude, and then having spirit, having the universe give us even more of that gratitude. And understanding how the law of circulation works, knowing that in the energy that we have, that we put out in our attitude, in our behavior, in our beliefs, and in the flow of the universe, that it is an ebb and tide, and that we are opening to receiving that flow, that good, that reciprocity. All of that is part of who we are. So I know that as we move through this special time in our lives, we allow ourselves just to be that spiritual being. We have to sort of give up in order to receive. As Ernest Holmes tells us, that we almost have to die to this life in order to wake up to who we really are. We die to this physical aspect of holding on to things that no longer serve us, and creating and opening us up to receiving those things that Spirit's willing to give to us. I know that as I move through each and every single time and every single one of these things that we have spoken about, that we also become part of that. We become co-creators of all that is out there for us to be. I know that in this particular time, this pandemic, in which most of us, where all of us find that we become perhaps a little lonely and separated, we are not. We are all one. We are one, just like the song says. We are one big family. We are all love. And as allowing us to just be there, knowing that in our heart and in our mind, I know that we will move through this, and we will find ourselves very shortly in a place being together again in that love, celebrating that one loving family that we are. So I just know this for each and every single person. And I put out love and health for anyone that is in a place where find themselves in a place of discontent, but knowing that health and healing is taking place right here, right now, for each and every single person out there. I send out that consciousness of love. I send out that consciousness of peace. I send out that consciousness of health for every single one person, every single person out there, knowing that it is already taking place. Knowing that, I just say thank you, giving that gratitude, knowing that that gratitude comes right back to me. Allowing it just to me, we move that into the law where it is already demonstrating and manifesting in my life and in your life. And together we say, and so it is. Namaste.
Good morning, beloveds. You know, if we were all together in person, I would say, let's give Reverend Robert another bunch of love because he was wonderful. And boy, his voice is pretty good. Oh, man. And I was watching it on YouTube, so I was really overcome with such praise and thanksgiving today because it's so beautiful. So much to be grateful for. So I want you to really consider right now to express your gratitude by directly going to one of the different ways of giving to our beloved community. And if you so choose, think about doing a little extra for the GoFundMe fundraiser that we are raising to offset the additional expenses of installing our new streaming equipment into the sanctuary. And I know we'll greatly appreciate it. And I know you'll be greatly blessed. And so let's just seal it in prayer right now by saying, thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you, Infinite Spirit. Thank you for the law of circulation and the knowingness that we could never outgive God. For as we give in the measure, in the way we give, we open up ourselves to receive back in an ever increasing circulation of God's goodness. So we're grateful to understand this. We're grateful for all the abundance that is even now circulating throughout all of life, and in particular for our life and our blessed community's life. For this and more, I simply say, thank you, Father, Mother God, and so it is. Amen. So thanks again for Reverend Robert, and thanks for Jeff and everybody who's made this service wonderful. And so here's George, who's going to close us out today.
Thank you, Reverend Robert. Thank you, Reverend Eunice. I didn't know Robert was such a performer. That's great. I'm pleased to announce that in addition to Facebook, we're now live streaming our Sunday celebration service on YouTube. This means you now have two choices of where to tune in on Sunday morning. You can find our YouTube channel by typing CSL Palm Springs, that's three separate words, CSL Palm Springs, into the YouTube search bar. Don't forget to join practitioner Isaiah Grace Angel for private prayer with the practitioner for healing and revealing your highest good immediately after this service in the upper room on Zoom. You can easily link to this and any and all of our classes and events on the pop-up page of our website, cslcs.org. So we'd like to end the service today with our closing affirmation. I invite you to read along with me at home. I am at home in the heart of God. My life is centered in truth. I live in the consciousness of peace. I can never be separate from my source. I am living love. Hallelujah. Amen. So we'd like to leave you today with Eddie Watkins Jr. singing a reggae version of the peace song. From all of us here at the center to all of you at home, we see you, we honor you, and we're grateful. We are grateful for who you are. Namaste.
Peace on earth. Let there be peace Let this be the moment now. With every single breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth, peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth. Let there be peace.
Here where the now and the then combine, the skins and the bass walk the rhythm line. I ponder the numbers, the mysteries of time were sublime. Out of the stars through the light and heat, the freaks falling down till they start to beat. The song of the spheres whizzing past my ears to me. My feet at the rhythm line. Alive in C flat, a 5 and a 7 clash, desiring to move. Slide down the scale to the earth from the heavens, the timeless gone timely, the sound of B turning to do. Starts to groove. Deep from the heart of the horn he blows, schisms and the rhythms of the whole world flow. You read him on the meter and you think, but you can't know. You just go. Ocean's in motion, the trees swing and sway. The girth of the earth spins the night into day. The words tumble out of my mouth and the piano plays.